Well, I just about made it around, didn't I? So, what in heavens the Betsy's name are we looking at here? On one workbench, I have a CL21A. On the other workbench, I've got a 19E Special. And both of these machines are phenomenal. They're going to have a lot of the same attributes. They're going to have access to that slow gear on the side here where you pull that out and it takes the motor from, well, it doesn't take the motor, it technically takes the drive of the machine from full power down to 1/5. Both on the 19E Special and also obviously on the CL21A. They're both going to have that feature. They're also going to have where when you put a bobbin on that bobbin winder, it's going to disengage that clutch automatically. The big difference that you're going to find is the CL21A, this machine that we're looking at right here, is going to have special cams that you insert in the back. And I should rewind a little bit and say, oh, by the way, these are Tom's girls' machines. He's got two little girls at home, and as a special thing for them, he wanted to get them both a Swedish Beauty. If you go several months back, well, a number of months back anyway, on Facebook, you'll find the post where Tom actually brought the machines to the workshop and he posed with the king and just all kinds of fun stuff went on. Really a neat fella. And so this particular machine is going to take those cams. You're going to have to insert cams in the back. The cam is going to have some basically decorative utility type stitches on it. Plus it's always going to have, in position 5, it's going to have a zigzag built in. The difference over here with the 19E Special, this one right over here, is it's going to have the cams engineered in the machine already. But you're only going to have access to basically 4 stitches. You're going to have a straight stitch, you're going to have a zigzag, you're going to have kind of a stretch stitch where it's going to hit those stitch points 3 times and basically give you like a fancy type of zigzag, and then it's going to have a blind hem stitch. Not so on the CL21A. You're going to have access to 4 cams on this machine. A, B, C, and D is what Tom has for it, and you're going to be able to basically generate a whole slew of different stitches along with the ones that I just named on the 19E Special. So if you're not really into decorative, if you're not into, I want all the fancy stitches, both machines are going to operate doing a lot of the same things. The motor size is going to be different. On the CL21A, you're going to have a 1.5 amp. On the 19E Special, over here, you're going to have a 1 amp motor. But for today's purposes, as I go back and forth between the workbenches, we're going to be doing exactly the same sew-offs with these two machines, and they're not going to be easy peasy sew-offs either. So what I want to demonstrate by doing that is if you have a properly optimized 21E or a 19E Special, where most of them are going to be coming with that 1 amp motor, you're going to be able to go head to head for quite a distance with the Swedish Beauties like this CL21, wrong way, CL21A that comes with a 1.5 amp motor. Just like the 21A comes in most cases with a 1.5 amp motor as well. So these machines are going to really, I think, have fun with this contest because it's a friendly contest. I mean, they're both Swedish Beauties. Just look at them. Just look at them. And yes, I'm going to come off the tripod at the end of this premiere so you can see both of these machines. They're just absolutely drop dead gorgeous. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know which machine is going to which girl. Julia, who when Tom came to the workshop a number of months ago was 9 years old, and then Maddie, who is 2 years her junior. Maddie is only 7 years old, or was 7 years old. The girls may have had birthdays, but we're talking about around a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old. So I don't know which way Daddy Tom is going to go with these machines, or whether he's going to let the girls go back and forth. I have no idea. All I know is that when he comes to pick up these machines, he has another Swedish Beauty that he's picked up that is going to be his machine. So I'll let his family work it out. I don't know which one Julia is going to get. I don't know which one Maddie is going to get. But I'll tell you one thing, regardless of which one they get, they are going to be, as I said in my Facebook post, they are already, it's feeling like Christmas morning. So once they have a chance to see this premiere and see what their machines are able to do, wow. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy, to say the least. All right, well, let me zoom in on the king for a second. His Royal Highness. As I get ready to launch into the first sew-off. The first sew-off I'm going to do on both of these machines is going to be 2 layers of genuine cowhide. I'm going to do, I don't know. I could do a straight or a zigzag. I'm kind of debating it. But I'm going to do one or the other on both machines. I'm going to try to treat each sew-off identically on Tom's girls' machines. So I'm not going to be jumping into a lot of the fancy decorative ones that the CL21A will do, because the 19E Special can't do those stitches. But those stitches are ready and waiting for whoever decides to use that particular Swedish Beauty. All right, blah, 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 blah. So, your Royal Highness, I'm going to go bluegrass. And I think even though you are His Royal Highness from the beautiful country of Sweden, that you're going to give me some leeway here as far as the type of music. It just fits, Your Highness, with jumping from one workbench to the other to put these Swedish Beauties that are yours, sir, through the paces to show Tom and his girls and his family what these incredible machines are capable of doing. So with your royal wave, sir, I'm going to go ahead and jump into this. And if you didn't see his royal wave, the king is pretty doggone quick. He does it pretty fast. I would say turbo style. All right, let's see what we have here. Yeah, this'll work. All right, folks, buckle up, hang on. I'm going to do my best here, jumping from one workbench to the other. I don't know if we'll be able to do all the sew-offs on this one tune. Probably not. So I might end up having to throw some other music on. So, all right, here we go. Wow, that was like too easy. Ha ha ha! I gotta turn this up a little bit. that's as far as I got. I'm going to start something else up and we'll jump right back into this. Alright, there's going to go there. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what, I love that song. I'm going to go ahead and roll through it one more time because then I won't have to pick one and see if I can figure it out. Here we go. Try to get this thing to stay stable here. Well, turning these on would help too, wouldn't it? Oh my lord. I haven't done this since I did my last giveaway, major giveaway. Oh, went off course a little bit there. Oh, come on, Scott, speed it up, speed it up. Camera's drifting. Stay still there, camera, stay still. Did better on that one. Practice makes perfect. Last sew off, last sew off. Where am I? There I am. Here we go! Good Lord, I ran out of music again! What's going on here? I don't want to play that again, I'll drive you all crazy. Let's put something else on. Oh, what do we have? Yeah, that'll work. Actually, on this last one, I think I'm going to do 2 stitches going down, if I can get away with it. Ha ha ha! right, we're done with the 19E special. Come on, Scott, pick it up, buddy, pick it up. Good Lord, why is this camera drifting all of a sudden? Stay, 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 stay. And of course I run out of music. Oh, jeez. Oh my gosh. Alright, we might as well play that one twice too, huh? Here we go. Alright, here we go. All right. I finally made it, sort of, kind of, I think. I'm trying to get them in the same order too, folks. I'm trying to get them in the same order. And I didn't even clip all my threads yet. I mean, this is a bare bones thing, man. This is bare bones. All right. Why don't I, so I don't get you jumping all over the place, why don't I start over by the 19E Special. Again, driven by a 1 amp motor. So, and I'm not going to have these in the correct order, I know that. I know that. So we started with, I wonder if I should do these down by the needle or something, if that would make it easier. Well, so we started with 2 layers of genuine cowhide. You can see it on the end there. Nothing lightweight about that task at all. Probably talking about 8 to 10 ounces, somewhere in that realm. And we laid down a straight stitch going down it. And you can see the straight stitch is just, I mean, it's just spot on. Everything about that stitch, the formation, overall presentation of it, it's just exactly as it should be. I'm going to try to move it over a little bit though, so I can get it better in the shot so that you're able to see them more clearly. These beds on these green machines, these Swedish Beauties, are huge, but when you're trying to lay out this many sew-offs, it can challenge you. So you can see from the side again there, the stitch spacing, the stitch formation is just absolutely spot on in every respect. And if I turn it over, other than non-cut threads and leather that's trying to fall off the bed, I've got an equally gorgeous lock stitch as well. And this, even though it's a 1 amp motor, it drives it into the nap of the leather so deep you really can't even see it. But when you're up there and you're actually looking at it, it's absolutely spot on. It looks really, really good. And then we've got this nylon webbing here. And we laid down a zigzag. 2 layers of this stuff, and each of these thicknesses is rated at a tensile strength of 2,000 pounds. So we basically we basically just sliced through 4,000 pounds of tensile strength of nylon webbing using this 1 amp motor on this 19E Special. And if you follow it all the way down, the zigzag is just spot on all the way. And you can see there's the 2 layers that we buzzed down. And if I turn it over, we've got an equally gorgeous lock stitch as well. And I think I'd used this to tow a car one time. And you can actually see the dirt on it in the corner there from where I had used this to pull the car when I think the starter went out on one of the cars. And you can see the lock stitch is also just spot on. And again, we're talking 2 layers of this nylon webbing at a tensile rating of 4,000 pounds total. And then we did our genuine elk hide, and we did 2 layers of that as well, laying down a zigzag. And it's just spot on all the way down that material. It's exactly as it should be. And again, like I said, when you're talking about a processed hide like this, it raises the piercing threshold dramatically because of the chemical process that they take that hide through. It basically throws it into steroids. So being able to go through 2 layers like that with this 1 amp 19E Special that belongs to one of 2 Tom's girls, that's absolutely brag-worthy. Plus to have a stitch of that caliber. And then we go over to this protected full grain leather. And this is the one that I think I went off course a little bit. I kind of throttled it up a little bit more, and I kind of went off course, but I still was able to hit both of those layers. And again, this is 2 layers of protected full grain leather. And it's just absolutely as it should be. You know what? Let me backtrack a little bit. I just realized I kind of got ahead of myself, and I showed you the zigzag, but I don't think I flipped over the 2 layers of genuine elk hide. Let me move. Oh my gosh, look at those threads. It's horrible. We've got threads everywhere, folks. It's like a pile up on a Chicago loop or something like that. So here again you can see these 2 layers of genuine elk hide, and the zigzag is just, I mean, exactly as it should be. It's spot on. And this is our lock stitch on that zigzag for this particular sew off. So I mean, that's absolutely brag worthy, and it's a beautiful stitch as well. And again, look at the edge of this stuff. You know, we're probably talking about 8 to 10 ounces of genuine elk hide, and this machine that belongs to Tom's girls just blew it away. And here we've got our 2 layers of protected full grain leather. Again, look at it from the edge there, folks. And we laid down a beautiful zigzag all the way down. I already started to show this to you. That's exactly as it should be, folks. Just look at that grain on that protected full grain leather. That stuff is just like, yeah, good luck, buddy. Good luck. Got to loosen my camera a little bit. It's kind of moving stiff and kind of getting jerky. So let me go to the bottom, and then I'll flip this over, and you can look at the lock stitch on this as well. Boy, these dangling threads, they are enough to drive me wacko. So here's our lock stitch on those 2 layers of protected full grain leather. You can see from the side again. And this 19E Special that belongs to Tom's girls laid down a lock stitch as well through 2 layers of protected full grain leather, folks. That is, like I said, get me a plastic machine from one of the major retailers, and I would love to run these sew-offs on that machine. And I would increase my sound system so you could hear all the plastic breaking. I mean, that's exactly as it should be. It's absolutely spot on. And then the final sew-off I did on this 19E Special were basically 2 rows. I did a zigzag, and then I also did a straight stitch. And I'll just kind of go down them nice and slow. It's going to be a little bit hard to see some of this thread on here because of the color I picked. And the on the CL21A, it's going to be even tougher on some of the sew-offs. So I'll get as close as I can and go nice and slow. But those are just absolutely as they should be. The spacing, the formation, everything about that. Oh, and did I mention this is 8 layers of U.S. Army grade canvas. And this 19E Special got the job done just ridiculously easy. And now we're looking at the lock stitch for this sew-off. I just flipped it over. Absolutely breathtaking in every way. Both the straight stitch and the zigzag, the spacing, the formation, the integrity of that stitch is just as exactly as it should be. Little remnants of something sticking to it there. That's kind of interesting. Little red remnants. There's another word to say, or 2 words to say very rapidly, and see if you end up spitting on your neighbor or something. You probably will. So, I mean, look at that. Those stitches are absolutely brag-worthy. And look at it again from the side. 8 layers of U.S. Army grade canvas. And this 19E Special with that 1 amp motor. You know what? It wasn't intimidated by its brother on the other workbench that has that 1.5 amp motor. Once a machine is optimized on my workbench, it's like David and Goliath. I mean, you can move mountains with my machines because of the way I prepare them. So let me come out on this shot a little bit. Again, I don't know if this is going to belong to Maddie or if it's going to belong to Julia, but whoever gets this 19E Special is going to have an incredible Swedish Beauty. You know, it doesn't matter whether on the far left there you're doing 2 layers of genuine cowhide, whether you're doing 2 layers of 4,000 pound tensile strength nylon webbing, 2 layers of genuine elk hide, 2 layers of protected full grain leather, or 8 layers of U.S. Army grade canvas. This machine just made it look so doggone easy. And you may have been saying to yourself as you watch those sew-offs actually occur in real time, you know, he's got to be pedal to the metal on that. Folks, God is my witness. I was probably about 25%, maybe heading towards 30% of the way down on the foot controllers on both of these machines when I did every single one of these sew-offs. A couple times I kind of held it back a little bit and I launched a little bit weak. And then I said, okay, let's go after it. I gave it a little bit more gas on that foot controller, and it just blasted through each one of these sew-offs. Again, it wasn't a hindrance at all that it had a 1 amp motor because of the way I prepared this machine versus the 1.5 amps. It just got the job done. And it got it done with grace and class, and it didn't even break a sweat. I mean, it stayed sexy from the beginning to the end as far as the appearance and the delivery of how it laid down those stitches. And I hope I didn't just offend anyone in Tom's home by saying sexy. Let's just say it was gorgeous. It was gorgeous! So, all right, let's go over to the CL21A. And let's do the same thing and trying to take a peek at those stitches. And I may have to move my camera to try to be able to, and I think I will. I'm going to have to move the camera to try to get a little bit closer walking into stuff here. Oh gosh, I'm everywhere. Oh boy. I'm up on the workbench shelf there. So here again, let me come out on the shot first and I'll kind of adjust my sew-offs a little bit. So again, we're looking at Tom's daughter's CL21A. Equipped with a 1.5 amp motor, and we did exactly the same stitch offs on this CL21A as we did on the 19E Special. So we started with this 2 layers of genuine cowhide. Now here's where with a lighter cowhide and a light thread we may have a little bit of trouble seeing it. Oh, that's not as bad as I thought. That's actually pretty doggone good. So you can see this very well now. I'm impressed. And it laid down just a perfect stitch in every respect. The spacing, the formation, everything about that stitch is just exactly as it should be. And again, when you look at it from the side, look at a single thickness there of this genuine cowhide. We're talking probably 3 to 4 ounces. So we're looking at 8 to 10 ounces when you put the two pieces together, because there's always a little bit of a pucker, there's always a little bit of an extra spacing between the two layers. As soon as you start layering materials, you're not going to get them absolutely pressed against each other. There's going to be a little bit of a gap point. And it's just absolutely gorgeous in every respect. Let me flip it over and we'll take a look at the lock stitch on these 2 layers of sliding off the... I ended up waxing both of these machines, and good luck with trying to keep materials on them now because they're trying to slide off. Okay, so here we've got the back of that 2 layers of genuine cowhide, and we're going to be looking at the lock, which again, just because of the way these machines drive at home, even if I zoom in, you're hard pressed to see the stitches. You can catch a little bit of a glimpse of them there, but the rest of them are just driven right into the nap of that leather. Beautiful stitching from this machine. Beautiful. Both machines for that matter. I would put both of them side by side as far as how they did with each and every one of these sew-offs. All right, let's go over to the nylon webbing now. The nylon webbing, again, I've got 2 layers of this stuff. Oh, here's where it's going to be harder to see it. Oh my Lord. Let me bring that light in, because the thread and there we go, that might help. The thread and the nylon webbing sample that I picked are so doggone close, it's like, ah! But again, we laid down a zigzag and it's exactly as it should be. I'm going to take it really slow so you can see it all the way. Beautiful stitching. The thread I have on this CL21A is quite a bit lighter, so and this nylon webbing is kind of masking the appearance of it. Let me just zip up to the top of the machine real quick and show you. That's the thread color that we're using. It's almost a mint color, and it makes it really tough to see some of the sew-offs on here. Really, really tough. All right, let me flip it over and we'll look at the lock stitch on this nylon webbing. Again, 2 layers, combined tensile rating of right around 8,000 pounds. 4,000 pounds, excuse me. I was adding the 2 up from both workbenches. So each of these is rated at 2,000 pounds, so we're looking at a combined tensile of 4,000 pounds. 2 and 2, yeah, that works. My math is a little bit off today. Hey, that dirt on there from when I use this to actually tow a car is actually helping right here. It's helping to contrast that light thread. And again, the lock stitch is no different, folks. Like I've said before, you'll see folks selling machines on eBay and other venues like that. Very seldom will they include a photo shot of that lock stitch, because lock stitches on machines that have not been properly restored and optimized is always going to be a problematic stitch. It's always going to be problematic on a machine that is not properly restored or serviced. But definitely not on Julia and Maddie's machines here. It's absolutely as it should be. And again, folks, look at it from the side. 2 layers of this again is 4,000 pounds of tensile strength combined. And it just, well, you can rewind it. Watch how easy it got it done. And then we're jumping over to this genuine elk hide. We laid down a zigzag going down this. Again, look at it from the side. And again, when you're looking at combining these 2 layers together, you're looking at raising the stakes even higher with this chemically treated elk hide. And it laid down a zigzag that is absolutely what? Yes, brag-worthy, brag-worthy. You guys are figuring me out here. You're going to get my little sayings down and be saying them before I say them. It's too funny. So let's turn this elk hide over and look at the lock stitch on this as well. Other than all my goopy-doopy thread hanging out there. So again, 2 layers of genuine elk hide. You can really see the nap there. That stuff just puffs up and really, really fights that needle. So here we've got that lock for the 2 layers of genuine elk hide. And that lock stitch with this zigzag is absolutely spot on as well. And I could have made that a lot more narrow so it would make it more of a defined type zigzag, but I really wasn't aiming for that. I just wanted to show you that doing a zigzag on material is always going to raise the piercing threshold a little bit higher because you got that needle swing in play. And even doing a number of these sew-offs with a zigzag, it just got the job done so easily, it's just ridiculous. And now we're moving over to the protected full grain leather. Look at it again from the side, folks. I'm going to try to get in super close. I mean, that's just ridiculously tough stuff to get through. Again, protected full grain leather is going to raise the stakes even higher on that piercing threshold, just like processing an animal hide with that elk hide. And it laid down a zigzag that is absolutely drop dead gorgeous in every respect. I mean, it quite honestly doesn't get any better than that. That's absolutely spectacular. I'll go down one more time. Isn't that beautiful? Let's just flip it over and look at that lock stitch as well on this protected full grain leather. Oh, you can't even tell the difference. I've said this in other video shoots before and other premieres, where when you get a machine that has been properly optimized in service and you're able to lay down a zigzag that looks as good as that top stitch, they're basically, if you were to zoom in close and someone wasn't able to know which way that material had been facing when it was sewed off, it would literally be indistinguishable. They would not be able to tell, looking at this, that this is the lock stitch versus the top stitch. It's just that good. It's just that spectacular. That's what I'm aiming for. Every machine, it doesn't have to be a Swedish Beauty that lands on this workbench. Every machine that lands on this workbench, my goal is to get a stitch of such quality and such caliber that it's literally indistinguishable when you look at it as far as which way that material was facing when it was sewed off. And here we've got our 8 layers of U.S. Army grade canvas. We did a straight and a zigzag, and as I go down, look at them. I don't need to state the obvious, do I? 8 layers of U.S. Army grade canvas, and this CL21A, I mean, not only did it deliver a stitch that is absolutely amazing, but if you rewind this and you watch that sew off again, it did it with such ease. It's literally, it's ridiculous. It's almost, you know, if you had a way of faking a video like this, which is impossible when you're shooting a live premiere, you know, folks would be like, well, that can't be really 8 layers of U.S. Army grade canvas. That can't be really 8 layers of U.S. Army grade canvas for that machine to get the job done that easily. It's gotta be the type of needle that Scott's using. Maybe it's like a magic needle. Maybe it's a magic needle. It's gotta be a magic needle, because if I had a quarter for every time someone sent me a note through Messenger, through YouTube, email, phone call, it doesn't matter. They usually open it up like this. They'll be like, yeah, I saw Tom's machines, his girls' machines, Maddie and Julia. I saw those machines do those sew-offs. What kind of needle are you using? It's almost a little bit insulting, because with all the hours that I pour into these machines, the 19E Special and the CL21A, and my special process and my techniques of getting these machines to their absolute optimal level, and the person won't open up the phone call with, man, you got the best machines in the world. They usually will open it up with, how did you do that? And oh, by the way, what kind of needle did you use? I've said it before, folks, and some of you folks even during this premiere might be typing in the chat, what kind of needle did you use? The needle is only a small part of the process, folks. They are not the magic bullet to get sew-offs done easily with stitch quality of this caliber on both of these workbenches. They are not the magic bullet, folks. They're not. You've got to get a machine running at its optimal to be able to do what I do with the machines that land on these workbenches. So anyone that watches this video, don't contact me after the video and ask me what kind of needle I used. Please don't do it. What you should be asking is, how can I get my machine even close to what his machines will do? How can I get a CL21A to sew at this level as easily as this CL21A got it done, and to lay down stitches of these caliber when my machine isn't even close to doing what I just saw that CL21A do? It's not the needle, folks. It's not the needle. It's not the thread. It's all the other things that I do to the machines. Again, not like a local sewing shop that will take 45 minutes on your machine if you bring it in and pay them $100 to $150 to service it. It's the 6 to 8, sometimes 10 hours on these Swedish Beauties that I spend getting it to its absolute optimal sewing level that makes the difference. It's not the needle, it's not the thread. Okay? So if you watch this video and you contact me anyway and ask me that same question, shame on you. Because you already know that those two factors alone, you can't just go out and buy a fancy magic needle or a fancy spool of thread and expect your machines in your home to perform at the level that mine do. It's not going to happen, folks. It's not going to happen. Good luck with that. So again, we're looking at the lock stitch now on this 8 layers of U.S. Army grade canvas. And as I've said before, folks, spacing, formation, everything about that stitch on both sides, the straight and the zigzag, is exactly as it should be. So I'm going to come on to the shot now on this CL21A. Again, I don't know if this machine here is going to become Julia's or Maddie's. I don't know. That's going to be up to their family to decide. But I can tell you, if those little girls, you know, again, the last time I met Tom, which has been a number of months ago, well, back in July 26th is when Tom brought these machines that were basically being prepared for his girls as a special gift. So back in July, Julia was 9 and Maddie was 7. So those girls are going to be right around 9, 10, 7, 8. So, you know, if either one of those little girls sits down to either one of these machines and they say, well, Daddy, I'd like to sew leather. Not a worry. 2 layers of genuine cowhide, boom, done. Dad, I'd like to sew that nylon webbing stuff that Scott talked about that he towed his car with. Not a big deal. 2 layers of this stuff, combined tinsel rating of 4,000 pounds. Done. Daddy, even though I love elks and deers and I don't want to kill them, like some people that had posted on Facebook about that little deer that Scott walked with along the road, hint, hint, poke, poke, public shame. Tom's little girls can sew 2 layers of genuine elk hide and get the job done like a blink, like a hiccup. Or if they decide to sew protected full grain leather, 2 layers of that stuff, doesn't matter. They're going to get the job done with these Swedish Beauties. And finally, last but never least, if they say, I would love to be able to sew 8 layers of U.S. Army grade canvas, done. It's not even a problem. It's not even a challenge for these Swedish Beauties. It isn't. And I've got to give credit where credit is due. Yes, it's my process. Yes, it's the hours that I pour into these machines that come to this workshop. But you already know where I'm going with this, folks. It doesn't matter who claims ownership of these machines, whether it's the 19E Special or whether it's the CL21A. These machines will always belong to the King of Sweden. Always. He never gave up ownership to them, not even as they left the factory. And even today, he follows them to make sure that they are well, that they're being treated right. And I'll tell you one thing, God protect the person that misuses or abuses one of his Swedish Beauties. Man, he looks kind of just regal right now, kind of chilling. You don't want to get on this guy's bad side. You do not want to get on His Highness's bad side. You don't want to do it. So again, we did these sew-offs on the 19E Special. We did the sew-offs on the CL21A. Identical sew-offs. Same needle, same type of thread, same material. And both machines got the job done so easily. It's just crazy. So easily. I mean, just incredibly easy. So, I keep saying so. SEO, SO, SEO, SO. Could almost make a rap song out of that or something. Let me show you something else before I jump into the off the tripod thingy that I like to do now. So, let's see. I just said it again. I'm stuck in so. Let me move these sew-offs. I just said so again. We're stuck in the sew rut. I wanted to show you something else, and Tom shared with me when he brought the machines here back in July. He said, I love when I can find provenance documents that give me a lot of the history, the richness of where the machines, came from. What was their origin? Where did they start? And these documents are dated back in 1960. This CL21A is not from the 1960s, it's from the 1950s. But when the person bought the machine, these are the documents that they got from the Viking dealership. You see right here, it's dated, 12/13/1960. It's interesting here, they didn't put the CL in front of it, they just put the 21A. You can even see the previous owner's information. I'll come out just a little bit here so you don't go blind. They have down the serial number, they have down the city, state, the address that the machine was attached to at the time of purchase. You can see the official stamp there of that particular sewing center in La Crosse, Wisconsin, where this person bought that machine, presumably brand new. I don't know that for a fact, but oh, interesting. So they also had a branch authorized distributorship through New York. So it's possible that this machine, I'm just saying, I don't know, maybe Tom got more information and he can correct me if I'm mistaken, but it's possible that this machine was originally bought out in New York based on this stamp at the bottom of this provenance document, and then it landed somehow in La Crosse, and then I don't know, or maybe it was distributed from New York and then eventually landed in La Crosse, but both of those provenance locations are noted on this document. I love that little, like, you got the little certificate edging on it and everything to show that it's authentic and original. And then we go over to another document here. This is a service document that Tom got with the machine as well. This one as well, you can see, is dated December 13th, 1960. It's going to have the same owner's name, Paul, out of La Crosse, Wisconsin. And it's going to have that little stamp at the bottom. And you can see this is La Crosse, and then this one does not have that provenance notation on the bottom pointing towards New York as well. The other one does. So, and then obviously Tom has an instruction manual with it. He's got the original stitch dial-up setting so that he can pick different stitches as well if he chooses to do that. And there's some other goodies in there as well. And then also he has the original container that holds all the attachments and everything. And like I said, he's got all 4 cams. He's got A, B, C, and D for this machine. So whichever girl, again, whether it's Maddie or Julia, gets it, they're going to have all kinds of fun goofing off and messing around with all those different stitch output options. So fantastic machine. Again, whichever girl gets this is going to have a fabulous time with it. All right, now let me focus over on the 19E Special, and that's going to be a lot shorter because there's not as many goodies that came with that. We're looking at my stuff on the floor there. Here we got the original container. It has some attachments, other goodies, the original instruction manual as well for the 19E Special, as it's on the nomenclature plate on the back. And then a little tin that has some extra bobbins and goodies in it and stuff. But you're not going to find any cams again with the 19E Special because they're all engineered into the machine already. And there's much fewer ones, obviously. Like I said, you've got the blind hem, you've got the zigzag, you got the stretch, you got the straight stitch, and that's it. You don't have all those other decorative ones that come with a CL21A. And that's fine. A lot of folks don't need all that icing on the cake. They just want the cake. And when you're talking about cake, you're talking about Swedish Beauties. What a sweet cake, too. Let me tell you one thing. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Let me see if I can find some other music to throw on real quick. We'll come off the tripod, and I'll see if I can wrap up this premiere at last. And I will not play Ruben's Train, which is the one that I played at the opening again, or the Cumberland Gap, I think was the other one. I believe that was the other one. Let's see. Or maybe I played Swamp Stomp. Maybe that's what I played. I'm not making these titles up, folks. How could I? All right, now as a closing one to come off the tripod, and I'll only have 2 minutes and 33 seconds, so I better not linger too long. I'm going to be playing something called Tennessee Hayride. Let's start on the CL21A. I'm going to move these Providence documents too so that Alright folks, whether you are looking for a 19E Special or a CL21A, you can't have these because these are for Tom's girls, Maddie and Julia. So girls, have fun with these machines. Daddy's coming to get them real quick. God bless you, and stay tuned for other great videos like this where you see amazing Swedish beauties like this CL21A and this 19E Special.